Okay, hello once again, everyone, and welcome to Adjusting to the New Normal. And we're going to be talking about the ins and outs. So, if you're just joining us, I'm going to go ahead and ask you if you want to be shown on video, you can go ahead and keep your video, but we are recording. So, if you're not comfortable with being on video, please just, turn your video off. And then, I will ask if you can unmute yourself when it comes down to questions. The way that I'm going to present this to you today is I have created a PowerPoint with some of the points that I want to emphasize and discuss with you. So as a result, I will take questions at the end of the presentation. However, during the presentation, you can go ahead and put your questions in the chat box, and then I will look at the questions at the end of the presentation. I don't know if I will have enough time to answer everyone's questions, but if your question is not answered, don't worry, because what I will do is right after I finish, I will make sure that I personally respond to each and every one of you that has asked a question, or you can send me a question to my email after this is done, which is drstem14@gmail.com, DRSTEM14@gmail.com if you have questions. However, if you're just joining us, I'm going to be, taking questions at the end of this presentation. So the good thing about this is, this pandemic has allowed all of us to start new things and learn new things. So here we go. I think the first thing that everybody would want to know is, who is Dr. STEM? Some of you know me that are there, but let me see how best I can introduce myself. This is a song that you will hear when I'm doing presentations live. It's called One Love by Bob Marley. Feel alright. One love. One heart. Let's give praise to the Lord, and it will be alright. Okay, I'm not gonna play the whole thing, but at least you see what kind of person I am. I'm a happy-go-lucky, free spirit. I love to inspire, to encourage, and motivate others to live stress-free lives. I'm also a licensed psychotherapist. I'm an author, and I'm a motivational speaker. If you've followed me for all these years, the one thing that I've really enjoyed is to encourage others. And I have done that through the books that I have written. If you have seen me in workshops, in seminars, if you're in a corporate organization, you've seen me as a trainer. I come there as a trainer to talk about stress, adjusting with new employees. If you're in management, I train management trainings. However, with this COVID-19, I am so excited to finally reach more people than I could reach right in my office. So this is who I am. And you know what? I hope that by the end of this, you will even know more about me, because as I talk about adjusting, I'm also talking about how I have adjusted. I'm also talking to myself and reminding myself of the things that I need to do in order to adjust to this new normal. I was talking to one of my patients, she's 82 years old, and she said to me, listen, if I hear this new normal one more time, I think I'm just going to scream, because everybody's talking about new normal. What new normal are we talking about? I hope you're not one of those people that are asking what new normal we are talking about, because all of us are going through some form of adjustment. But the first thing that we have to remember is safety and security are first. We have to continue to wear the masks. We have to continue to wash our hands Not that we didn't watch them before, but we have to continue now to be aware and cognizant that we really have to wash our hands at every time that we touch anything outside our own doors, and also to continue to make sure that our homes are safe as well. COVID-19 is not over. The world is beginning to open up, businesses are beginning to open up, places are beginning to open up, and I think my heart, goes to making sure that people understand that as they open up, it's not a sign that says everything is now okay. It's not over. So I hope we'll continue to be aware and protect ourselves. So why do we need to talk about adjusting to the new normal? We need to talk about adjusting to the new normal because individuals have been affected. As an individual, I bet you if we were sitting there live and you had a pen and paper, I would say to you, can you write down as many things as you can about, how this pandemic has changed you as an individual? For work and businesses, wow, many changes have happened. Just with a yes in a box, in the chat box, to just type yes, have you experienced any changes as an individual? Yes or no? Have you experienced any changes in your work and business? Yes or no? You can just type yeses and nos in there, and I'll see your yeses in the chat box. Families and relationships have been impacted. There have been changes in there. For you, is that a yes or no that that change has happened in your house? Globally, there have been changes in the global world that are happening. And also in our own environment around the world, there have been changes. Let me talk a little bit about, those changes so you can see what's been happening. So individually, there are individual adjustments, that we all have to, to adjust to. And one of those, the way that we think has to be adjusted. Our values and beliefs have to be adjusted. The way that we relate to the world has to be adjusted. I'm telling you that here's the thing, right? I found myself sometimes even talking as if everything is okay, because then you're just scooped up in your house and you're thinking, oh, okay, maybe it's just another day off that I'm working on my computer. And then I realized that, oh, no, the world is still at a standstill and things are not the same. So I have to adjust real quick the way I'm thinking and realizing that not everyone is out there working. And even I am blessed enough to be working at home. Not everyone has, that capacity or ability to work at home. What changes as an individual have you had to change? That's the question that I have for you today. Work and business. Whew, there have been a lot of layoffs. People have lost jobs. There's also a new term, furlough, that is, buzzing around the world, or I'm on furlough. So when it started, right, people thought, oh, okay, furlough means I'll get paid something and then I can stay at home. No, furlough, they might as well talk about layoff. People that are put on furlough, they don't get paid. So that's a big adjustment that a lot of families, a lot of people are having to adjust to. Working from home, that's a big headache. Pulling hair, working from home for a lot of people. And unless if you're one of those lucky people that have been working at home already, you probably haven't had to adjust a lot. But for a lot of people, this has been a big adjustment, working from home. Families and relationships. I tell you, when I left my office, when I closed down my office, my clientele was probably 50% was, relationships, and then the rest of the 50 were individuals, that I was seeing. Probably I could say 50-50. As of the pandemic, right now, I'm standing at 80-20. 80% of my caseload are couples that I'm seeing and families that I'm seeing talking, about counseling services. So everyone at home has been affected. There's been adjustments that need to be done, and it hasn't been easy for families out there. Relationships are now a 24-hour commitment. I have a young sister. I have 5 sisters for some of you that know me. I have one young sister, Nikki. She said, you know what? Because she's married. She's like, marriage is not supposed to be a 24-hour thing that we are in a relationship and working at it 24 hours a day. And I thought, you're right. Marriage is work when we can get out and go to our respective jobs, and we can go to the gym, and we can do something else and then come back together and everybody get a breather. But when you have to look at each other 24/7, we were not prepared for that. People are not prepared for that. So that has been a challenge, big challenge for people to relate to each other 24/7. So if that's something that you've been struggling with and saying, is it me that I'm really getting annoyed at my wife being here all the time? Or my husband, I know the wives were thinking that I would say at my husband being here all the time. Well, husbands get annoyed too at wives being home all the time or being around wives all the time. You're not alone. And it's very normal that you're going through that, because it's something that everyone is struggling with that is in a relationship. We go to the next one, the environment. Oh boy. I know for this one, right? I'm a hugger. Anybody that has ever been in my office, I love to hug people. So I miss that I could hug, everybody that came in there just as a gesture of welcoming them and being able to work with them, as I was in my workplace. And now I miss that. But what has been funny is there are people that I've worked with, some even for 2-3 years that I've been seeing, right? And they always went, oh, I'm not a hugger, Dr. Stam. I'm not used to hugging. And guess who's the first person to say, I really miss being hugged by you. So believe it or not, there are certain things that we were doing, right? And we took it for granted that, you know what, we're going to see each other again and we're going to hug each other again. We miss that. That has been a big adjustment. In the stores, seeing these signs that they have tape and papers and everything on the floor that say 6 feet. I went to the post office actually earlier this morning, and I walked in the post office. Yes, I've got my mask on, but my brain wasn't thinking COVID-19, because I remember walking and I'm going straight right next to the lady that was in front of me. And then all of a sudden, she turns around, she looks at me, and I'm going, ooh, because I had my music on and I totally just went and stood. I mean, not close proximity that, I was breathing on her, but it wasn't 6 feet. So that's another thing that we have to be aware of. And I know I made that booby this morning. I apologize. She's like, oh no, I could see, because then I was listening to my music and I was in the post office, and I'm used to just going to the post office, stand behind someone, and then call to be next at the counter. But that has changed for all of us. We still have to now continue to wear masks and gloves. And then if somebody coughs in front of us, guess what? People are jumping and they're scared. And it's not like you could just go, your shoulder and do a cough, even though you cover your mouth. It's not good enough now. You can't just cover your mouth and cough. You literally have to have a mask so that other people can feel safe. We're all in this together. The thing about it is there's no right or wrong way of doing things right now. You can only do your best. But the biggest thing is being open. So when I say there's no right and wrong, right? It's almost like everyone and everything, we are now on a clean slate of starting everything all over again. There are certain people that were struggling in the job, certain people that were struggling in their personal lives, certain people that were struggling in their businesses, and all of a sudden, we have this clean slate of starting all over again. When I say there's no right or wrong, I mean, even now, if I had children in this house, right, and I'm presenting this professional place, professional platform, and my kid screams, "Mommy," or comes out of their room it's not time to say, oh my God, and scream at the child, because everyone else, even the people that are participating now, you all will have children that will run around and everything. So I just want to, encourage all of you, if you do have those children, to, it's okay to just tell everyone, let me just, put my child back in the room. Let me just, say, excuse me, let me just, talk to them a little bit. I'm on doing a webinar, or I'm on in a meeting right now. It's okay to do that, because guess what? Your boss is not going to say that's rude. Other people that are on there are not going to say that's rude, because everyone is going through this change. We are all in this together. Everyone is afraid, and everyone is experiencing some form of anxiety, of fear, some form of sadness and depression to some extent, all of us. I'll put a mini recording sometime this week, because I've been doing like short recordings of like a minute and sometimes 2 minutes. And I say to everyone, listen, this COVID-19 came and attacked our bodies health-wise, right? But I think what we are forgetting is it also attacked us mentally, because as it attacked our bodies and killed, the millions of people that are dying, the, hundreds and thousands of people that are dying every day, mentally, that's not anything that we are used to, just seeing people just, dying and seeing people lose their lives. So on a mental health aspect, I, as a mental health professional, am very worried that every one of us is struggling with anxiety and depression to some extent. So it becomes a normal, way of feeling, because all of us, even for us mental health professionals, we're going through it too, because then we are having to adjust as well. But it gets to be excessive if you had, before, prior, pre-existing anxiety and depression, or it's excessive to the point that you are really not able to function at all, or you're so depressed that you're not able to get up or do anything on a day-to-day basis, then that's excessive. And that's something that now you will need to talk one-on-one with a mental health professional like myself, or other mental health professionals where you are, or even your doctors, medical doctors, so that they can check if you're on medication, to make sure that your medications are still working okay. When I talk about we are in this together, I'm also talking about, a given time that all of us can look at this as a time to rest, as a time to relax, because some people have been working all along. They've been working for years without even taking a vacation, without time off. And all of a sudden they find time to stay at home. Some people have had problems or issues. In counseling, we say issues that they've just been sweeping under the rug and saying, I'll deal with that later. Or I'm strong enough to deal with this, so I'm okay. Guess what? You're being given now time that you can now actually deal with those things, so that after the COVID-19, you're not the same person that you were. You're not struggling with the same struggles that you were struggling with. If you were doing well, I know this must be a big struggle for you, because then you were fine. Everything was fine with you. You were happy, you were having a good life, and your business was going well, or your work was going well, and now this. I also want to encourage you. It might not be the same, but where you were before, you literally can work your way up to somewhere close to that as possible. So do not give up hope, and do not allow yourself to be discouraged. It's also time to learn. It's also time to grow. And yes, it's time to connect, because a lot of people also wanted to learn something new, learn a skill. They wanted to grow personally and professionally, and never had the time to do that. This could be also looked at as a time that you can now learn, you can grow, and yes, you can connect with other people that you've never even thought that you could connect with. As I said at the beginning, I'm excited because now I'm connecting with people around the world, that anybody can just register for these webinars, come in here, and I get to meet you and you get to meet me, and we connect. So allow yourself to learn, allow yourself to grow, and allow yourself to connect with those people that you never thought you could connect with. The other thing is, we have to remind ourselves that we are still here. If you're here with me today, that means you're still alive. And if you are still alive, guess what? You have work to do. You have a life to live. So you have to allow yourself to make the changes that will make that life as livable as it can be. It's not going to be the same. And that's why I continue saying, you know what? Yes, let's buy into this word, the new normal. But the new normal is going to be how you create it as an individual, as a family, and as at the workplace. Many of you have returned to work right now, and or will be returning to work, and you will see that things have changed in the workplace. They might have glasses that, if you're in a customer service, you have this, glass that they have put in front of you, and you have to wear the mask. And now people, you can, see people directly, or you have to, wear gloves on the computers, or now you don't have, central computers. Each person has to have their own computer. Something has changed in there. Instead of fighting it, I think this workshop is encouraging you to be open to those changes. Because once you say to yourself, you know what, somewhere, somehow, I'm going to see or feel or be asked to do something that I have never done or that I don't even expect to be doing, then it's much easier for you to be receptive to that change when you are allowing yourself or open to changes. And guess what? With this new normal, there are no exceptions. Everyone is having to adjust to a new normal. Everyone is having to go through something new that they have to change in their lives in order to accommodate life within COVID-19 and hopefully soon after COVID-19. As I said, this could be a time that you could take and say, you know what, it's time that I need to resolve the things that I've been struggling with. This is the time that I need to learn whatever that I've been putting on hold, this dream that I've wanted to do. So I posted this yesterday, and I think out of all the posts that I have posted this week and last week, this one got the most likes and the most comments from people. I said, counseling is not for crazy people. It is for normal people who want to lead pain-free and stress-free lives. If you're one of those people that ever say, well, I'm not crazy, so I'm not going, for counseling, then guess what? This one is also to let you know that it's not for crazy people. It's actually for all of us, for normal people, especially at this time. You might find yourself lost. You might find yourself confused. You might find yourself like, now what? I'm 50 something years old, maybe you're 55 like me. I'm 55 years old, and now they put me on this fellow. What am I going to do? Guess what? There's a lot that you can do. The mind is such a powerful tool that we have, that when you make up your mind, I always say to people, right? You can't mess with a made up mind. When somebody makes up their mind that they're going to do A, B, C, trust me, I don't care how influential you are in their life. When they make up their mind that I'm going to learn something new and I'm going to open myself to, reaching out to people and looking for something else that I can do, they will be a way. I'm reminded of this saying, I think it's a Bible verse, where there's a will, there's a way. It's very true. When you're willing, there'll always be a way. The other reason for, probably opening yourself up to talking to someone about what's going on, remember now, your children, if you have children, they're watching. I love this picture. He's so cute. This quote says, a child's shoulders were never intended to bear the weight of adult burdens. That's very powerful. A child's shoulders were never intended to bear the weight of adult burdens. What that means is, with this COVID-19, your children are still looking up to you for direction. They're still looking up to you for leadership in that family. So when you are not at your best, when you're not able to carry that, it becomes a stressor for you mostly, because then what do I do? So what happens is when you get to talk to someone, they can bring ideas, different ideas, but it's such a relief to get to talk to someone and get ideas of how next you can move next. I tell those that have children that are understanding that these children can see you struggle. They can hear you struggle. And it's okay to tell them to be saying, you know what, to be honest with you, with everything that has changed, I don't know what I'm going to do. And I'm very frustrated every day. So when you see me, I really am frustrated because sometimes they see it, but we can't voice it. And then they stress even more and they get anxiety even more. And for the kids, it's, excuse me, it's so hard for them to deal with the anxiety and depression of not knowing what's next because they're afraid, you know, of seeing their parents break down or not know what to do. So if you're in a family where you have children, I encourage you to be able to talk and resolve some of the problems that you might be going through personally or in that relationship, because the children are watching at all times. So what is the answer? How do we change? Because then everybody is probably wondering, okay, you're talking about adjusting to change. How are we supposed to adjust to this change when we are losing lives? How are we supposed to adjust to this change when we are afraid to lose our lives? We are afraid to get sick. We are afraid, you know, I mean, of the unknown. That's a great question. And yes, it's fear that all of us have within ourselves at one point or another. But the answer is in embracing change. I look at this situation like any other change that we have gone in life, except this one is the most severe situation that is asking for everything within us, that is asking for every power within us to embrace change. So that's the first part that we have to do. As you know, changes, you know, I mean, before COVID-19, right? If I were to ask you, complete this sentence, change is. And if you can complete it, you know, I mean, you can go ahead and use the chat room too and just, you know, put it in there. Guess what? You probably would have said, change is unbearable, change is difficult. I hate change. Well, guess what? I think the other thing is before this COVID-19, right? I think change was also optional. There were certain things that I wouldn't have changed if it wasn't for COVID-19. I probably wouldn't have done 100% of my work in the house. I wouldn't have changed that. I probably wouldn't have been, you know, buying groceries and buying toilet tissue that lasts me for a year. I mean, I wouldn't have done that. I'd have just bought, you know, for a week and then go back another 2 weeks. But there's certain things that we've had to do, right? And, you know, change without us having an option. To us right now, change is mandatory. But then when we say mandatory, guess what happens? We resist it. Because I don't have to change. If it's mandatory, but I don't feel like changing, I don't want to change. But guess what? It's actually necessary. Change is going to be a necessity for us to be able to adjust and change on a day-to-day and moment-to-moment basis. Because this thing here, this monster here, I mean, nobody has gotten, you know, hold of where is this, you know, pandemic coming from? What really is going on? And how are we going to end it? That's the problem. So no one has the answer. When you think that, oh, okay, it's just a cough, and somebody going in and saying, just a cough, then it becomes more. Oh no, I just, you know, had a bad appetite and I was just having flu symptoms, and then no, but then it became more. So then when you listen to the stories of the people that have had COVID-19 or those that have lost lives, nothing is consistent. That's the scary part about it. Nothing is consistent. So as a result, we have to be in a survival mode. We have to be in a mode where if we focus more on what it is and, you know, how it is, and get stuck in the fear, then Tomorrow we'll wake up and they will have a vaccination and you're still going to be alive and you're still going to be here. That's my worry about us getting up every day and making the most out of every day. That's my reasoning for doing this today, to encourage you to open up and say, you know what, but then I have tomorrow. I'm still here, even if I'm tested, positive, and I'm still in this room or in this house, but chances are I will be there. What am I going to do with my life? How am I going to change my life? As I said before, this change is global and it's universal. So there's nobody who can say, oh, I'm immune to it because I'm in the United States of America. I was laughing because, I have relatives, many of you might know I'm from Zimbabwe. And I was talking to my relatives in Zimbabwe and they're like, we're actually amazed at how many lives are being lost in America because we thought you guys would have more protection, than us in Africa. I don't have the answers. I don't know, but they're right. This was the assumption that we all had that, oh, if something like this could come, the people that will lose most, lives are in the African continents. But look at it. Right now, they have lower numbers than we have. So this change is happening global and universally. Okay, so change is, it's constant. And as we are facing, these changes, now it's inevitable, but then it's very stressful, very, very stressful. But it doesn't have to be that stressful. Because when we have enough information, when we know what we know about ourselves and the ability that is within us to change, actually, let me say it, the innate ability within us to change, then it becomes less stressful and it becomes manageable. The first thing that we have to do is breathe. I work with a lot of people, right now. I was talking to some counselors the other day. We're having our own meeting because we have to have our own meetings to debrief and also to find time to breathe, right? And I said, it's interesting how, the focus has been on the medical part, but now we are at least leveling up where we are having more people coming out of the hospital, and being told to quarantine at home. But then once they are in that home, quarantine, now the mind is attacked. And all of a sudden now we're having this war of the mind that is going on. And guess who's in the front lines of making sure that we are there to support them, to help them with that war of the mind? The mental health professionals. And the first thing that I do when I'm working with people, it's either at the beginning and at the end, depending on what's going on with you that day, we're going to breathe. We're going to do some breathing exercises so that you can relax. So it's amazing now when people get on Zoom or, they're on the phone, they go, oh, let me take, and then I'm just quiet. They go, okay, I guess you want me to breathe. We have to breathe. It's something that I'm seeing a lot of people forgetting to breathe. Forgetting to just take a minute to do even 3 breaths where you breathe in through your nose and then you blow out through the mouth. So in every training that you have attended or that you attend, you'll hear me also reminding you to please take some time to breathe. There are risks of not changing. If you don't allow yourself to change and adjust to this new normal, the stress level that you will endure, it's going to be increasing. Because right now, as things are not changing, as we are not finding the answers, as people are not going back into work, companies are not able to bring everybody back at the same time, and hopefully they will with time, the risk of you not changing or find other means and ways of allowing yourself to adjust, the risks are very high. You also will be compromising your immune system. And I can't tell you how much you have to fight yourself to not allow stress to bring you down for a long time. Because what happens is when your immune system is down, And we have this virus that is attacking the immune system. You start off with the coughing, the exhaustion, not sleeping, and then you never know. So you don't want to allow yourself to not change and allow stress to take over in your life. So the worst place, to be is in a place of resistance, especially, with this COVID-19. You don't want to be in that place where you are resisting the change, and then you find yourself in a place where you're lost and there's nothing else that is open for you, and there's nobody else that you can see, because then people are there to help, and help is around us at all times. But then it becomes like, the Bible says, ask and you shall receive. But then if you don't knock, the door will not open. So that's the risk of not changing. And that's why I want to emphasize and encourage all of you here today to be open. And then you go, okay, how do we do this? What options do we have? Oh, we do have some options. There's always a way. Where there's a will, remember how I said it? There's always a way. So option number one is you can either take this new normal, right, and be in denial. You can also take this new normal and just ignore it and say, well, I'll just wait until it's all over, which is interesting. When I closed down my office, which was like around March, and I had all these people that I had been seeing, and I said, well, guess what? We're now going to be talking on the phone, or I'll send you a link and we'll talk, on the video. And they said, wait a minute. I think I'll just wait. I'll wait until you come back in the office. So at that time, right? Remember now, we all were thinking, oh, okay, it's just gonna be a minute and we're coming back. But no, it hasn't been a minute and we haven't gone back. So this option is wishful thinking, that, you know what, we're gonna go back into normal and everything is going to be okay. And then you are also believing that things will not get worse, even though you can see there's proof in there that things are getting worse. So I know I'm muted, everyone, but if you look on your mic, do me a favor, just make sure that your mic is muted, because I can hear some people right now. So just mute your mic if you can, please. So then option one also is numbness, just being numb, right? Because then you're refusing to make changes. That's an option that you have, that you can be in that way. You are in denial of everything that is going on, which is, something that happens too with grief. We get people that get to be in denial to say, no, it couldn't have happened, when they have just heard the news of someone passing. It's almost the same reaction as this one here, option one. There's also another option. We have option two, where you can resist and react, is what I call this option. This is an option that many people, after that first phase is gone by now of, okay, we thought this was just a phase and this was going to go on, you get into this phase now of being angry. Because now this is when the furloughs are coming. This is when the layoffs, because organizations, we're also holding on to, well, we're going to hold on and see whether, we'll bring people back in a few weeks or something, because this will be over. And then they're realizing that actually it's not. And they have lost a lot of money in the 2 months that we've been closed down. So then they, are not able to bring you back. For some people, that might be it. Or you're a person in business yourself, and you were also hoping that all the appointments that you had, everything that you had by May, June, of course, you know what, I'll be able to continue to those appointments. I'm just losing March and April, and then May, June, July or something, I'll be going back there. But we're finding out that for most people, it's not going to happen. That all the appointments that we had, speaking engagements that we had, workshops that we had, that's for myself. I'm not going to be able to do them in person around, the June, July, time. So what I'm having to do is to transfer them all into virtual and bring people again and continue to do and present the same thing that I was going to, but I'm now going to be doing it, virtual. When you resist, you get sick, because then what happens is you begin to doubt even your own ability to change. You begin to doubt your own ability, to have the strength, to change or to learn new things or to do the same, work that you've been doing. So I want to encourage all of you, right? If you're a business person that will be listening to this or that is here today, guess what? The brand is you. You are the brand. People come to your live workshops, or you go to companies, or you serve a product. If you're, even producing a product, but you are the brand. Whether you're producing a product, whether people are coming to listen to you, or you're producing, programs or something that, you've been doing in person, you still can do the same work and the same things that you were doing and provide those services, virtual services. And for some, yes, you might have to wear protective gear and go to those places because, as you know, hospitals are open, post offices are open. I mean, what they call essential businesses are open. So you might be one of those that is, a provider of those essentials that are needed in those businesses. You might have to wear the protective gear and believe and trust that you will be okay, but not to choose, option 2 where you resist doing the things that you're able and capable of doing. Option 3 is probably one of my best options: anticipating and exploring. So anticipation means when this whole thing happened, my first thing was looking around and saying, okay, how next am I going to support the people? Because I work with people. I work with real life issues. I work at resolving or helping people resolve real life issues. And I couldn't just sit there and mourn and groan. I have to find other ways of reaching the people or having the people reach me. So that's option 3, where you try to open up and find means and ways of seeing possibilities. You want to let go of anything that's going on in your mind that's chaotic and, bringing you down. I have this free book that I have on my website, which, I actually have 3 free books on my other website, which is the drstemempowerment.com. You'll have a PowerPoint at the end, which has all that, which, you can download your self-sabotage. A lot of people are struggling and dealing with self-sabotage, where it's just you. It's not what's happening around us. It's not what you don't have, but it's you not allowing yourself to bring out what it is that is within you right now. Being indecisive, procrastinating. Those are some of the things that you want to get over and get out of there and do what you need to do. There are new skills that have to be learned. For me, lucky for me, right? For years, I've been doing, yes, 3 quarters in the office, but I also had a quarter that I was doing online and doing telephone services and video services for years now. And my whole goal was, at the end of my time, I don't want to be 60 years old and still going to the office. I want to be in the Bahamas and talking to people in the Bahamas, and they're going, oh my God, what background do you have? And I say, oh, I'm in the Bahamas. And then we talk about their lives. Oh, I'll be in France somewhere and, by the Eiffel Tower, and I'm talking to people, but they also living their life vicariously through me. That has been my crazy dream, but look at it now. I didn't think that, it would be this soon. Remember now I said 60. So don't put away anything that your heart has desired, because now we have this COVID-19 and things have changed. Explore alternatives, learn new things, and know that things will be different in all aspects of life, but you will be one of those people that will make changes that will be beneficial to you and those around you. Option number 4 is asking yourself these questions. Where am I headed? Where is my relationship headed? Where is my family headed? Where is my business headed? Because guess what? All these things are now facing you. The problem is when we are working and, pre-COVID-19, see, this is scary because then remember we had, before Christ and then, after Christ, and now we have before COVID and we're going to have after COVID and before COVID, BC. before COVID, right? People were working. So it was easy to, forgo or not look at the things that were not working. It was easy. But now, when things are facing you right, in your face, you really have to look at them, and you really have to see what changes that you need to make. Because guess what? If you're seeing them now, even after everything has become a new normal, you'll continue to have those things that you don't address right now. So it's important to ask these questions and be able to face them head on and deal with whatever comes up. When you say, where am I headed? Where's my relationship headed? Where's my family headed? And where's my business headed? It takes confidence. Because then without confidence, that negative mind, those negative, messages, they will take precedence. So it's time for you to believe in you, as we're talking about adjustment. It's time to shift. Many of you have seen my book, It's Time to Shift. When I wrote that one, it was from fear to faith. But right now, it's from fear to action. We need to act. And we need to think ahead. It's time for us, to change, because change is here for us all. What do you need to change? Is the biggest question that you have to write down. What do I need to change? And when you write that question, let the answers come. What do I need to change? Because you're going to have to change. Something has to give. So let me also let you know that everything is contagious. Courage is contagious. Confidence is contagious. Well, fear is also contagious. Misery, well, misery loves company. It's very contagious. Toxic friends and toxic family members are very contagious. Well, this is a time now, it's almost like it's a time that we have open eyes now to see what needs to be changed and, what needs to be kept. So you will notice now when you're talking to people virtually, when you're now talking to people, on the phone, and you're not having to see them, now is the time that you really get to see the reality of who people are, what situations you're having to face or just tolerated, who the people that are misery are. And sometimes, guess what? It's that person that you see when you look in the mirror that's miserable. I know, I said it. Because that's the person that we're so afraid to face when we look in the mirror and say, actually, it's me that's miserable. I'm not happy with myself. So be ready to make that change. What can you do? Accept that change is an attitude. Affirm. Affirmations are very big for me. If you've worked with me before, you know I'm all for affirmations. So you need to be able to say these affirmations. Tell yourself, I can learn. And especially if you know me personally and you think, if she can do it, oh, I know I can do it. Because trust me, I don't know everything. And I know when people see this, they're like, oh my God, you know everything. No, I'm one person that is very hardworking, very dedicated, very determined. And nothing that anybody else can do, as long as you have veins and blood that's running in you and you can learn it, STEM can learn it too. If you can do it, then I know I can do it too. So I know that one of those affirmations for me is I can learn, I can change, and I can do it. So write these affirmations down, because these 3 affirmations, I think for change, for the adjustment, these are adjustment affirmations. I can learn, I can do it, and I can change. And it's okay to change, because this time around, change is for good. What can you do? You can also focus on what you can do and what you can control. Many people are focusing on everything that they can't control. And when you do that, you feel so frustrated, you feel helpless, you feel hopeless. But what I want to encourage you to do is write down those things that you have control of. What can you do that you have control over? even if it's just getting, and putting together now a party where you say, to people, let's talk on the phone and let's just laugh or read a book. And, each person reads a chapter, or you are the one that's reading a book to everyone that you just put together 4 or 5 friends, and, you read every chapter, and then you allow people to, discuss that chapter that you've read. It's time for a new thing. Why not do that? Because you'll be amazed at how many people will look forward to something like that, because, oh my God, that's so much fun. But develop a perspective of opportunity, which means see opportunities, see possibilities, and see what other people are doing. Right now, even my 70, how old is mommy? I think she's like 76 now. She is online, she's on YouTube, she's, joining Zoom meetings. And I'm like, Ma, you did all that? Oh yeah, she was just told one time. And now I wouldn't be surprised that, right now I'm in the PowerPoint, I can't see her, but I wouldn't be surprised that she will be right here with all of us. So if she can do it, guess what? We can do it too. And whatever it is that you put your mind to, remember, you will find a way. I always, say to my sisters, we talk about, when the student is ready. I used to tell them a long time ago to say, when the student is ready, the teacher arrives. So create a willingness to learn and develop. Just in case you're wondering, well, where do I start? How am I going to do this? Well, don't worry. This is the reason why I'm doing this, to let you know that help is here. For years and years and years, I've been working and building an online platform, which I call the Empowerment Academy. I'm telling you years and years, because now I looked on my phone, it's been 15 years that I wrote on my phone at 6 o'clock every day. There's an alarm that comes on and it says, congratulations on the Empowerment Academy. That was way before I even built it. I attended a workshop, and in this workshop, the presenter said, listen, if you have a dream, if you have something that you want, why don't you put an alarm on your phone and then remind yourself every day that you have something that you have to work at. And every day that noise came on, and it still comes on at 6 o'clock every morning. And I kept building courses, and I kept writing books, and I kept, doing work that I wanted for people to be able to access online and do online. But I can tell you something, that some days, some months, some weeks, that alarm was very annoying. I wanted to just turn it off and sleep a little bit more. But no, I remembered that one day will come. What if that day will come and I'm not done and I haven't learned anything? So that's what brings me to doing this with you today. It's because, I have built now the Empowerment, Academy, and I'm so excited to share that with you, with all of you. What is it? It's full of life success programs. Anything that you call life enhancing, I have it in there. We talk about stress, we talk about relationships, we talk about business. And then the other thing is, if you've enjoyed this workshop, I have workshops in there where 2 of those workshops, because I'm going to be doing 1 each week of this kind of workshops, you get to attend 2 of those if you become a member in there. And we'll talk more about that. In the academy, you'll find virtual workshops. I have this wonderful time that I'm bringing for the ladies that are out here. If you're a business lady, if you're an aspiring business lady, if you're a leadership lady, retired ladies, we're gonna be having a ladies sip and chat, and that's gonna be on Fridays. Don't ask me what we're sipping, but we are ladies. It's only for grown folks, just in case you're listening and you're young. It's for grown folks. And then in the Empowerment Academy is a membership, which I'll talk about as well. So the virtual workshops and support groups, this is the first one that we're doing on June 5th, and it's gonna be from 8 to 9, and we're gonna be doing a virtual sip and chat with Dr. Stam, which is me. But I'm just excited because I'm having grown ladies come up and we can sit in this, because guess what? We are refusing for this COVID-19 to attack our minds, our abilities, and our dreams. So if you're a lady, I encourage you to join us. For right now, until COVID-19 has gone or disappeared, this is going to be a $27, fee for you to attend, each Friday for this sip and chat. But then I also have virtual workshops, which are just like this one that I'll be doing. And for each workshop, we're going to be charging $37 until, again, this COVID-19 is gone. These are going to be every Tuesday, and we are starting these on June 9th. Time is going to be determined because we're doing one each, week. So we're going to have 4 of these. But if you're a member of the, Premier membership that I'll talk about in a bit, guess what? You get to attend 2 of those for free. You don't have to pay. We're going to cover a lot of topics. Some of them are topics that have been suggested by people, because I have a tally out there, and you too can, email me with a topic that you would like for me to cover. But the topics will be, again, dealing with life, success, businesses, relationships, building your self-esteem, confidence, overcoming fear. We'll be talking a lot about those. And if you want to know more about the virtual workshops, I'm putting up a schedule on my website, which is drstemempowerment.com website. I have a couple websites, and I did that for a reason, because I wanted to make sure that I can separate, everything that we'll be doing. So then the Empowerment Academy Premier membership, guess what? This one here, remember I said the workshops, you pay $37 to attend a workshop. And then for the virtual sip and chat, you pay $27 to attend that. But guess what? For $27 a month, you are getting all these things that you're seeing on here as a member. You have unlimited access to the programs that are in this Empowerment Academy. I have done videos, and I'm continuing to do videos talking about different topics and different things. I have done audios. You get to listen to those audios about any topic that, you can think of, that I have, covered in there in all this time that I've been building, this academy. I have a new course that I'll be uploading every month. You get a brand new course. The best thing about this is I'm excited about, we have a private group on Facebook. So in that private group, I come live, and you literally get to chat with me live and ask questions, and I answer some questions that will have been sent to me in that month. So that's exciting. Plus, you get to talk to other people within that group, in that group. Hey, I took that program, Thriving Beyond the Tears. What did you think about chapter 3? Or what did you think about, when she said such and such in that video? I don't agree with her, but those are the kind of things that you'll be talking about in that private group. So you meet friends, you start to make friends. Again, remember, we said we're talking about connecting with new people. So this is your opportunity to be able to connect with other like-minded people that are wanting to make sure that this COVID-19 period does not go without you growing yourself personally and professionally. So it's easy. Because a lot of people might think, well, I'm not tech savvy, so I don't think I can do this. But guess what? It's actually very easy access, because you can do it on your computer, you can do it on your iPad, you can do it on your laptop, and you can also access them from your phone, which is awesome. And if you can get on this Zoom, the way that you got on this Zoom right now, then it's going to be easy for you to go into the Empowerment Academy. Because all it is you will create your own login, and you create your own password. And all you do is put in your login, your password, and voila, you've got all this menu of programs that you can go to. And what I did is, a lot of you know that I used to work with teenagers and parents a lot for over 20 years, until I moved here in 2015 and decided that I was going to change my focus, because my focus right now is more on empowering, women and couples, right now. So that's the work that I've been doing a lot. But what I did was, because I wrote a lot of books and I did a lot of programs for parents of teenagers as well as teenagers, I thought I'm not going to lose that and throw that away. So that's in the Empowerment Academy. And if you're a Premier member, you get to access that. Your kids get to access that information as well. So it's full of information that you can use. But today, for those of you that have stayed and listened to all this good stuff that we've been talking about, I have a bonus for you. Yes, because if you join today for that $27, what I would like to do is I want to give you a free 1-hour strategy coaching session. Right now the prices are going from $250 and up for my coaching sessions for 1 hour, but I'm not going to charge you. I want to make sure that at least when you buy that Empowerment Academy, you talk to me for an hour and you say, okay, which programs, can I do? Or this is what I've been going through. It'll be your show and I will be listening and helping you strategize, where to go from here. Because as I said, it's time that you can thrive and you can change, and I'm here to help you with that. So if you're, able to get your membership today, then lucky you, because you get to schedule a session with me so that we can, again, strategize. The $27 offer, just in case you're sharing with friends or you're making a decision yourself, this is going to be available until December 31st, 2020. Because I believe as of January 1st, 2021, it's going to be a whole different time for us. And I hope that, the tide will have changed and now we will be having a vaccine and people will be able to at least live free and breathe free. That's my hope. However, if it's not over, then I certainly won't have a problem extending the $27 offer. But I just wanted to make sure that people know that as of now, it's only until December 21st. Okay. Woo, I went over my time. All right. If you're here, I want to thank you and I apologize, for going over, but I finished right on time now. It's 5 o'clock. So if you have any questions, I'll take, a couple questions. And let me do this for now and see if there are any questions that were in there. Okay, I'm not seeing any questions in there right now. Okay, all right. So I'm not seeing any questions in there right now. So what I'm going to do is, let me just go ahead and share my last PowerPoint that I had for you. Isn't that amazing that, it goes by so well and then all of a sudden now I can't find my slideshow. Okay, all right. So when I had the slide that I had before this, right, it said, let me just, because I want to make sure that I can share this slide with you. It has, oh, that's not coming. But anyway, it was Van Gogh that said, if, oh, there. Okay, if you hear a voice within you saying you cannot paint, then by all means paint, and that small voice will be silenced. So to all of you, I want to say, if you hear that small voice within you say you can't, then by all means do everything and anything that you can to get yourself out of this COVID-19, a different person, doing something different that you have learned during this time. Please be safe. And remember, it is all doable. I'm inviting you to do it together so that you and I can work together. And I hope that I can see you in the next presentations that I'll be doing. If you have been around me, I always say, be encouraged. This is Dr. Stem. I'll see you guys later. Stay safe. Bye.